and one.
Hi, everyone. This is real estate coach Craig Proctor, and welcome to the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Today, my special guest is Phil Aitken. He's a Florida realtor, longtime Craig Proctor member. Phil, thank you so much for being on the Craig Proctor Show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's start off, Phil, with some of the amazing things that you've done and how you found me, how we all got started. And you've been with me for a number of years. So well, I guess it makes sense. We'll just start right from the beginning of this story.
Yeah, we were, so from 2004 or 2005 through 2009, I did new construction sales. Then, everybody knows what happened in 2009, got kicked out of real estate, went back into business sales for about the next 5 years. And then in 2014, I came back into real estate, knew I wanted to build a real estate team, and joined a big box brokerage and initially as a single agent. And then we went from selling 18 houses, 36 houses, 86 houses. And we've been consistently between 100 and 130 houses since that time in 2014.
That's pretty amazing right there. So I was talking actually to some realtors this morning, and I said, that is really what sets the top producers apart. Is most agents would be totally happy, doing 20, 30 transactions. What drives you? Because you're, 130, 140, but you're not done yet. You're not like living in this comfort zone where, you're doing well and you're just going to maintain that pace. What keeps you always wanting to go to the next level?
Well, what drove me back into real estate is, I loved selling new construction homes, and I love the process of working with folks, helping them find what they're looking for, and being their advocate, whether it be new construction or resale homes. And so what drove me to survive, if you will, back in the day in 2009, it was, I made $23,000 in real estate in 2009 selling new construction houses. And so, and I had 2 kids in college. So you do the math and it didn't work. And so it was like, I'm never going back there. I'm never going to have that kind of situation where I can't provide for my family. That's why I wanted to start a team. And so we started a team, and that was the initial fuel for drive. And now I'm approaching a different season in my life. And so I'm in the process of building a team that works without me. And that's what is fueling me now. I've got 6 granddaughters under the age of 7. And so that's what we're doing.
Okay. That's a great point. Everyone watching this, I'm sure everyone watching this is thinking about, okay, well, what is my exit strategy with real estate? What if you didn't have to exit real estate to have an exit strategy? That's really what Phil is talking about, is how can you have a successful business without the business consuming you? Most agents have a job. They don't have a business. It relies on them. Frankly, that's why they can't sell very many homes. And at some point, they just get tired of the grind. And that's why we've never been to a real estate agent's retirement party. I go to their funerals. We don't go to their retirement party. And we got a lot of 80-year-old realtors running around, not because they want to, but because they have to. They have not put money away in a savings account. So, you've been doing this for a long, long time. And you said, when you first started, obviously you needed to make enough income to take care of your family. And that wasn't happening with new construction. And then when you came back into resale, you'd learned some lessons, you've had some experience, and you started building this team in the beginning because you couldn't handle all the business. And this team's been working very well for you. And we are going to get into what a real team is, because you and I were talking before we got started here that, everyone in our industry talks about teams, but they're not truly teams. So we'll talk about what we're referring to when it comes to the team concept. I was the first one to do it that I know of back in the 1980s. Many of you know my story. When I started in real estate, like Phil, I was struggling that first year. And within 3 years, I became the #1 RE/MAX agent in the world. Now, a lot of people would say, well, that's impressive. Well, what's more impressive is continuing to be the top RE/MAX agent in the world. And that's what Phil has done here is Phil, we see a lot of agents come into your marketplace that can do the sprint, but it's hard to do the marathon. You've been at this for how many years now?
Well, 2014 is when I started my own team, if you will.
So you're coming up on 10 years on this.
Yeah, 10 years very soon, with 4 years with a divided career. 2005, 2009, new construction is how I got this. I cut my teeth in real estate. So, but yeah, coming up on 10 years in general real estate.
Okay, so let's talk about the team that you have, and how is this team structure that you have different than the way most agents or brokerages would throw around the term team?
Well, most teams, the big box brokerage that I was with, everybody was, calling themselves a team. They had an assistant, they call themselves a team. Well, that model is one of, you have an overflow of, you don't have enough time in the day, so you need an assistant to go show houses, or you have a buyer's agent, or you had listing agents. But many of those teams that are out there give their agents leads. And that's not what we do in the Proctor system. What we do is we give our agents appointments. So it's really broken up into 4 different segments. So you have
Let's just make sure everyone heard that. Does everyone see the difference? If you were partnering up with Phil, you would actually get listing appointments and buyer appointments. He's not like, giving you a bunch of Zillow leads or handing you the phone book and giving you leads. This is a main point of differentiation here. We're talking about Phil being the broker owner and spending his energy, his time, and importantly, his money on generating actual listing appointments and buyer appointments, as many as you can handle. And people would be skeptical about that. They'd say, well, Phil, why don't you just go out on the listing appointments and the buyer appointments? Why would you, if this is true and you really could produce all these listing appointments and buyer appointments, why do you want to, quote, split the commission with other agents?
Well, we're building a business. It's not just about a payday. So at some point in time, you're exchanging time for money. And I've got a little bit of gray hair going on right here, and I'm not getting any younger. And so we're building a business like a traditional business, whether it be selling copy machines or whatever you're peddling. So we're building a business that works without me. And so I spend most of my time in the beginning. I did everything. And then I hired an assistant, and she did all the admin. I did all the sales. And now I spend most of my time on lead generation, the marketing, the lead generation, and getting the appointments set for our outside sales agents.
Can everyone see how, if Phil was your broker, he wouldn't be competing with you because you're not even going out on any of the listing appointments or the buyer appointments? His goal is to run the business, have more time. Time is more valuable to him right now than money, but he's doing both. He's making a lot of money and he has time. But his goal is to have a business that operates more or less without him. So he works on the marketing. The other thing that you spend a lot of time on, Phil, is training the agents. So not only are you giving them actual listing appointments and buyer appointments that are qualified, because these leads are called by the setter team or inside sales team that qualifies. We're not just booking appointments because we can. We're only booking a listing appointment because we should. That means they're qualified. They're ready to list now. We're not running you around on a bunch of maybes here. Phil's focus with his team is he wants to make you a superstar. He doesn't want you coming back from a listing appointment with a story. He wants you coming back with a signed listing agreement. So that's why he spends an enormous amount of time training and coaching his team. So I know every brokerage, Phil, they talk about, oh, if you come and you join up with us, we'll give you all kinds of training or we'll give you leads. Well, the training here is on an actual system. We're not training you to cold call or knock on doors or chase people. Your training would be on how do I do the best listing presentation? How do I do the best buyer presentation? So Phil has a vested interest in making you a superstar at the listing presentation and the buyer presentation, because the more money you make as an agent working with Phil, the more money he makes. Anything you want to add to that, Phil?
Oh, it really revolves around everything. We do the marketing, we set the appointments, and then the outside sales agent goes out from appointment to contract, and then we've got a contract to close person. So we've got a full team that's supporting the outside sales agents that we have. And so every single day, our agents train. We've got a very specific platform that Craig and his team have designed that allows our outside sales agents and anybody in our business to train, to watch 3 to 5 videos every single day, so that we keep the axe sharp so that we can cut the wood faster. And it's all about from appointment set to the time that we get the customer under contract. And that's what we train on for the outside salespeople.
For those of you watching this, imagine being involved with a real estate brokerage where the broker, Phil in this case, is spending his own money, hundreds of thousands of dollars every year, maybe more, on running the business, generating the leads, hiring the inside sales team to call all the leads and set qualified appointments where they're motivated and their timing is now. You go out on the listing appointment. You're using Phil's listing presentation, which is my listing presentation. So I taught Phil how to do it, and then he teaches you how to do it. And there is a best practice. I'm sure all of you would agree. There's probably a best way to perform a listing presentation or a buyer presentation. And by the way, when it comes to the buyers, we're not running around showing them houses until they first meet with us and sign an exclusive buyer agency agreement. I know some of you watching this might think, well, my marketplace, the buyers won't sign that, or there's lots of other agents that will show buyers houses without mandating that they sign a buyer. We understand that. We understand all the other ways agents do it. Before you judge this and you say, well, that wouldn't work for me, could it be possible that maybe you just don't know how to do it? So we teach you how to do it. And the teaching never ends. If you join up with Phil, the teaching never ends. He's teaching you and coaching you. This is truly getting free coaching. And the promise is this: you will net more money in your pocket than you will anywhere else when you join up with Phil. Now, if you're not in Phil's marketplace, and we'll get to that in a minute, you can contact me if you want to learn how to do what Phil is doing. But if you are operating inside of Phil's marketplace, you do not need to call me. Phil has already mastered what I teach. He's been around this for a decade. So everything that you want to do in real estate, Phil's already doing it. And he's doing it at a very high level. And all Phil thinks about is how he can do it at a higher level and a better level and do a better job of this. And that's what he enjoys. Now, imagine this. You're an agent that works for Phil's team, and you get to set your day timer up. It's like, okay, I don't want to work Saturday afternoons. That's when I'm with my family, or Thursday evenings. My kids got judo, or whatever it is in your life. Phil would say to you, book out your personal time, because that's one of the benefits of partnering up with Phil, is you're going to have your cake and eat it too. You're going to net more money in your pocket because you ain't paying for anything. Phil's paying for everything. The money that you make after the split, you keep, it goes into your pocket. You're not paying any marketing expenses, none of that. In fact, when you get the listing, I don't want to say you don't have to do anything. That's not true. But there's a whole bunch of things you don't have to do. You don't have to be banging the sign on the lawn. You don't have to be running to Home Depot and get the key cut, installing the lockbox, taking the pictures, making the feature sheet. That is all done by Phil's admin team. You would open your day timer for when you want to work within reason. Obviously, Phil's not going to keep you around if you're available 5 hours a week or something crazy. But this is about you having a life outside of real estate, but making an extremely high income net in your pocket. Because all you're doing, honestly, you're going from listing appointment to buyer appointment, from listing appointment. And the other thing you're doing is you're spending time being coached and trained by Phil. Now, you're going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars net in your pocket. And ego is the enemy here in real estate. I've talked to lots of real estate agents that brag on, oh, I make $300,000 a year. they're talking about their gross. And, some of them aren't. Some of them are grossing 100,000 or 80,000, which is really gross. But if you take a realtor that's making $300,000 a year and they're spending $100,000 doing it, right, with their marketing, their assistant, all the money they're spending to make the 300, now they're down to 200. That's really what they're netting in their pocket is $200,000. So I want everyone watching this to think, what do I really net in my pocket? Now, there's two groups of people watching this. Those of you that want to do what Phil's doing, you want to have your own team. You see the writing on the wall, right? You can only work and work and work and work so long. And then you're like, okay, where does this end for me? Well, if you don't do anything about it and you're a solo agent or an agent with an assistant or two, it never ends. It just ends when you quit. That's what happens. Or you can set this up like a business so the business works so you don't have to. And I'm not suggesting Phil doesn't do anything, but it gets easier. It gets better. So some of you want to be Phil's. You want to have a business that operates without you so you can go on real vacations. Not a vacation where, you're on your laptop in your cell just working from a different location. I know many of you have those we're talking about shutting the phone off and going on real vacations and enjoying the time that you have here. Okay, now, for those of you that don't want to do that, some of you are like, you know what? I don't want to study under Craig Proctor and for years and go through. I just want to be a real estate agent and make a lot of money. I have brokerages all over the United States and Canada, like Phil's, Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty. Our name is our promise. So if you're that type of agent, we're like, I got no ambition to be Phil, to be a broker, to do that. I just want to be a real estate agent, like a good listing agent. I want to make, $200,000 or $300,000 a year and keep all the money. Then you want to join up with Phil or one of my brokers throughout North America and all these different locations. Now, Phil, we're going to start with the area that you serve. So if you're watching this and you're in this area, you're going to contact Phil. So what areas are you interested in growing your team right now?
Yeah, we're in Northeast Florida. So we go from the state line to Florida, Georgia state line, all the way down into Volusia County, which is the Daytona area. So we've got seven counties that we serve.
Here's the interesting thing. Although this might sound like a recruitment pitch, the truth is we're highly selective on who we want. Okay. Unlike other brokerages where, if you have a pulse, you can fog a mirror, they'll hire you. Because Phil is going to spend so much time with you, he only wants to work with agents and commit this, make this investment in time and money in you if he believes you're a good fit. Okay, so who would be a good fit? Well, if you're ambitious, you want to learn, you're open to coaching, you love the fact that everything is a system here, this would be good for you. What would be the best way for realtors to contact you to get more information on this opportunity, Phil?
Yeah, my phone number is in the chat, and so it's 904-440-1758, or you can email me at phil@aitkenhometeam.com. So we can put that in the chat as well.
All good things start with a conversation, right? We all get focused and we focus in on what we know. And whatever results you're getting right now, it's based on what you know and what you do. And I assume you're watching this because you want to do better. And if you want to do better, you've got to understand that you can't keep doing what you're doing right now. Okay. Doing more of what you're doing, it's only going to get you so far. I figured that out. Phil figured that out. You'll go from 30 transactions to 35 or 40 transactions, and you work 7 days a week. What we're talking about here is a completely different strategy that will liberate you from normal real estate. This truly is a very unique opportunity that you will not find at any other brokerage. Okay. Think of this. You're just going to do the parts of the job of real estate that you love, which is meeting with buyers and sellers. Everything else is taken off your plate. That's it. And you're going to be coached and trained how to be a superstar listing agent and buyer agent. And you're going to go from meeting to meeting on your terms. When your day timer's open, we're going to fill your day timer. But you get to shut your day timer to have a personal life as well. This opportunity should be fully investigated by you. Okay, again, we're not looking for anybody. We're looking for the right people. It would start with a conversation where we'd ask you a bunch of questions. Now, if you want to book a time with me or my team, we do it on a Zoom meeting, so we can show you stuff. And in the comments below, or you can write this down, if you go to proctorcall.com, no space, so my last name, proctorcall.com, you're going to go to my Acuity day timer, and you can book a day and a time that works for you. We'll ask you a bunch of questions. Questions like, how long you've been selling real estate? What was your production last year, the year before? Do you have a team or you don't have a team? We'll ask you a bunch of questions about what you're currently doing. Okay, then we're going to show you in about a half an hour some new strategies, things that you aren't doing. Now, if the call doesn't interest you, whether you call me or you call Phil, of course, you can just hang up on us, right? But I think you're going to be pretty amazed at what you see. See, the opportunity isn't what you know. The opportunity is what you don't know. How you're going to go from where you are right now to where it is you really want to go is learning what you don't know, opening your mind to leverage, understanding marketing, okay, understanding a system, understanding the best practices used by the top realtors. And I have created more millionaire agents than any other coach or trainer or guru out there. So if you'd like to speak to me, okay, you're going to go to proctorcall.com and book a time. And Phil, his information is in the comments below. And all good things start with a conversation. Reach out to us. If nothing more, you're going to get a great free education on what top producers are doing right now to make more money and work less.
Hey, Craig, if I could just add one thing to what you said, so one of the things that I learned early on when joining the Proctor system was how to get more money. How do I get more money on every buyer transaction, every seller transaction? We all know that the buyer transactions, those commissions are getting pushed down. They're getting squeezed. Listing presentations, it's more competitive in a market like today, where that's people are willing to do it for next to nothing. And so when you have so much value, just the value stacking on a buyer presentation, on a seller presentation, because we do so much more, you can get more money. And so Craig taught me how to get more money on the buy side. And there's a whole strategy involved in doing that so that we can get more money on the buy side. So we get the 3.5% on the buy side. On the listing side, we're getting over 4%. That specific strategy took us from, we were doing about 800,000 in GCI when I started with Craig, to last year was 1.4 million. In the last 6 months, it's over 800,000. So we're surpassing that. How are we doing that? We're doing it by getting more money for each and every transaction.
And talk about paradigms, Phil. The topic of how to get more money, how to increase your fee is fought hard by some realtors. I've never met a professional group fight this idea of making more money per transaction as hard as real estate agents. And I know what some of you are thinking. Your market is different. We hear that every time. My market is different. Craig and Phil, you don't understand what it's like here. There's so much competition here. But what if this is true? What if we can teach you how to create value so the seller would be willing to pay you more money? The buyer would be willing to not only meet with you and not only sign an upfront exclusive buyer agency agreement, that you could negotiate your fee directly with the buyer, just like you're able to do with the seller, instead of accepting whatever's being offered on MLS. Now, you may believe this is not true, but in reality, it's just because you don't know how to do it. You're a hardworking realtor. You really care about your clients. we want to teach you how to negotiate what you're really worth. Okay. So first of all, you have to accept the idea that you are in control and that you can articulate enough value to buyers and sellers that they are willing to pay you more money than what other agents are able to accomplish. And top Craig Proctor agents all over North America are doing this every single day. So you can fight it and you can say, well, that's not true. All it really means is you just don't know how to do it. So this is part of the coaching and training that Phil provides. Remember, his goal is the more money you make, the more money he makes. No one's on your team, on your side, more than our broker owners. You know, this isn't like a brokerage where, well, you know, if you do really well, we get 5% of it. No, this is about you netting hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars and focusing on what you really like, what you're good at. We will teach you how to get the listing, even if you're up against a lot of competition. We will teach you how to motivate the buyer to want to sign a buyer agency agreement, and we'll teach you how to negotiate a proper fee instead of just basing your fee on what other agents do.
Yeah. In addition to getting your fee, how about getting an upfront fee? We're getting $19.97 on every listing up front.
That really blows a lot of realtors away. Did you hear what Phil just said? We get an upfront fee, a retainer fee, so to speak, a retainer fee from the seller before we do anything else. Now, we think that's kind of strange or weird in real estate, but I want you to think of all of the other businesses outside of real estate. That's called normal. You know, if you wanted someone to paint your house, they'd probably want to, you know, some of the money up front to go buy the paint. You wanted to hire a contractor. If I want to hire a lawyer, they're like, okay, we're not doing anything until we get an upfront retainer fee. So we teach you what you don't know, and we teach you how to do it well. And what happens is you make so much money inside of Phil's team that you never leave. That's how I'm able to have agents with me for such a long, long time, is we provide them a massive opportunity so they know they're making more money with us than without us. So if you're looking for a stable place where you can make a high income, but still set your hours, have a life outside of real estate, and be something really big, you want to reach out to Phil or myself so we can talk more about it. Okay? Don't shut this down. Don't be skeptical. Mostly don't let your ego get in the way and think, oh, that wasn't work, or this is a big sales pitch. We're not here to sell you anything. We're here to talk to you about an opportunity in real estate. Now, remember, I have created more millionaire agents than any other coach, trainer, or guru out there. So there's something to this. The first millionaire agent that I created was me. I went from not knowing anything about real estate to 3 years later being the top RE/MAX agent in the world. There's a formula to this. I taught Phil the formula. Phil is going to teach you the formula. You don't have to spend 10 years figuring out from me how to do this like Phil did. All you have to do is walk in to Phil's office. He'll lay it all out for you. You will not believe what you see, but you got to give yourself a chance with this. Okay. If you shut this down or this won't work, or all the skeptical thoughts that you might have, you are not giving yourself a chance at this game, folks. Phil, I want to thank you so much for doing the interview here today. I want to give you an opportunity for final remarks before we wrap it up.
You know, if you're thinking about, hey, this crazy real estate market it's been crazy tough, and if you're thinking, how can I make this better? How can I make this stick? I love real estate. I love helping people in real estate. How can I make this thing work during some of the most challenging interest rates and economic times that we've experienced? Well, we just had 6 months in a row of the highest gross income, almost $800,000 in gross income in the last 6 consecutive months. And it's a simple program. It's just really plugging into the system. It's not a smorgasbord, though. You don't want to take, I'll take a little bit of this and I'll try a little bit of that and try a little bit of this. That's a recipe for failure in anything. Find the system, copy and paste, copy and paste, put your name on it. So if you're thinking about, starting your own team, it is the best system on planet Earth. If you're thinking about, hey, I really just want to work with customers, then join a Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Find one that is close to you that could work. We've got 120 of us across the country. The best minds in real estate are here, and they're all high producers selling, anywhere from 50 to 2,000 houses, 2,000 houses a year. So Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty is the brokerage that runs like a team, and the team leader is all in it for you to be the face with your particular customers. And then you've got a whole team behind you, backing you up. So, and helping you hit your goals.
Well said, Phil. So the next step's up to you guys. You're still here. You're watching that. It means you're interested, right? Because we've been at this for about a half an hour. So the next step is contact Phil, book a time with me, and let's answer all your questions. We can give you tons of people to talk to, by the way. Okay, if you're a skeptic, you need more information. But this works just like we laid it out here. We've created a system. We know how to attract motivated buyers and sellers. The buyers and sellers will be qualified, and we have an abundance of them. So there's lots of business for you. You get to set your day timer up when you want to work, when you don't want to work. And our job would be to fill your available time with listing appointments and buyer appointments, and spend the rest of our time coaching you and training you how to be really, really good at that. You don't have to pay for any advertising, any marketing. You're not running around doing administrative stuff. You're not running around broker loading things or putting signs up or getting keys cut or taking pictures. Nope, that's all delegated. You are a money-making machine. You're going from appointment to appointment to appointment to appointment. And we celebrate your success. The more money you make, the more money Phil makes. So he's all about finding the right people on the team and then investing his time and his money in the marketing and the coaching and the training, so that you're a superstar and that you do so well that you never want to leave. So I want to thank everybody for watching this. Phil, great job here today, as always.
Thank you.
But yeah, this is Craig Proctor. I hope you found this helpful. If you found some gems here today, let us know in the comments below. Okay, if you found this extremely helpful, of course, a huge compliment if you were able to share this with another realtor you think might benefit from what Phil and I talked about. We would love that as well. You can reach my office toll free at 1-800-538-1034. That's 1-800-538-1034. Or you can visit my website, which is craigproctor.com. But to book a call, it's going to be a Zoom meeting, actually. Go to proctorcall.com. My name, proctorcall.com, and we'll see you on the other side. Thanks again, Phil, for doing this, and we'll see everybody next time on the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show.